live from the parking lot of Sprouts Farmers Market.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes, happy Tuesday.
Is that good enough fake enthusiasm?
That's...
Fake it till I make it?
You almost sound sincere.
I am almost sincere.
You are almost sincere. That's what they'll say about you.
We are in Carla, our car, and she has been, she got a new front windshield.
Look at that.
Oh, this is that great expanse. It's even tinted at the top, so Lon doesn't have to squint so badly. And she's not going to leak anymore. And they painted the roof and the front and the back, but the sides are not painted because that would have been extra expense. And they took off our bumper sticker, but we have to put it on. But they left the stickers on the back window, which was just taken out and resealed. Anyway.
They took off. Hold that for a second.
Well, we're going to put it back.
We're going to put it back. That's, we had this one, rotate your phone. Oh, don't want to do that. That's our, we ain't from around these parts bumper sticker.
Which is obvious, we don't have to tell people anyway.
Yeah, they more or less.
They can kind of tell that we think differently, maybe. We are one with them, but we think differently.
Take one look at my tattoos.
Well, I have a tattoo.
We both have tattoos.
We have religious tattoos.
Yes.
Oh God, we're a little punchy because of last night's class, and we stayed up late and ate something.
It's a pretty big class last night.
Yes, it was. Yes. Interesting people are showing up, and Lon goes to great trouble to prepare for it. Anyway, tonight is a debate that makes no difference whatsoever what happens, no matter what they say. I mean,
getting ready for the big nothing burger.
I don't want to, except for a lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Which I'm tired of voting for my whole life. I'm very frustrated. Neither one of these candidates represent me or millions of other people. And because of money in politics, that's all we're allowed to vote for. The real candidates are not visible. Anyway, everybody's just trying to go to let's see who can outright each other, because that's obviously what's popular right now around the world. Well, I'm sorry, I'm thinking like I did when I was a younger person, and like lots of younger people who are very frustrated right now are thinking as well. Nobody's talking about the real issues or going to do anything about what they say they're going to do anyway, and what they are going to do is wrong. But enough of that. I'm going to make popcorn tonight.
Oh, thank God! There'll be popcorn.
There'll be popcorn, and just so we have something worthwhile to do while we try to watch it, and we won't. It'll keep me from screaming at the TV.
Now you got so mad that you bit a chopstick.
When Joe Biden when the Democrats were having their, I already told people this story. We're having their initial primary debates years ago. Lon was in China.
Yeah, I was in China.
Making money. And I remember when Lon made money in China.
Those were the days.
Those were the days when China paid our rent.
Ni hao.
And then we bought stuff from China.
Yeah.
But anyway. Oh, God, I forgot what I was... Anyway, there was the presidential primary debates on, and I was eating and watching them, and which is always a stupid thing to do. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were two of the candidates, and already she'd switched her mind a couple of times about what she really believed in, and Joe Biden was saying things that...
He said something very reactionary.
Something that was truly only an old fart who's trying to lean to the center right would say, and probably his real feelings on the matter anyway. And I had a beautiful pair of chopsticks, my favorites. Okay, and it's not wrong to have favorite chopsticks. I'm sorry. They had little bunnies on them.
Yeah,
In mother of pearl or abalone or something. They were wonderful. I still have them, but I bit the end of one of them off because I was so adamantly opposed to anything anyone was saying in my party. The party I thought was, anyway. But I'm less innocent now. I won't be biting any chopsticks.
Yes. You don't use forks.
No,
She's dangerous.
Forks are dangerous. No, I'm not dangerous.
You're dangerous with your fork.
No, forks are dangerous.
Well, I feel safer when
exactly.
you don't have a fork in your hand.
Forks are dangerous. Spoons and chopsticks rule. But, I mean, I can eat coffee and cake and not leave a crumb, with chopsticks. And I mean, it's not, if you're hungry, you can eat chopsticks. Anyway, I just came to say, go ahead and watch the debate if you want to. Don't expect too much.
But be thinking about us munching popcorn and perhaps throwing things at the screen.
We need Nerf objects and stuffed animals. But no, it's good. It's good to pay attention, even if you disapprove, because it's good to know what's going on, and I want to know what's going on this plane, even though I don't consider it reality. And there's another point.
Well, there's very big problems out there that
on this plane that I don't consider reality either.
Yeah.
They're harder to live with or more important to deal with than what they're going to talk about.
Yeah. So. But anyway, also yesterday was Teddy Bear Day, and
it was also California's.
These are important holidays in California.
California was accepted into the Union of the United
that's
States
right.
Yesterday. They only did it because
1850.
they wanted California's gold to buy arms to support the
manufacture
Union,
arms,
so they could manufacture arms to support the Union's war effort in the Civil War.
Yeah, California's gold was Union.
That was our reason for becoming a state. So,
and we were
all this has been happening for forever.
We were probably picketing in those days.
Yeah, we don't want to be a state.
No,
don't take our gold for war purposes.
No gold.
No taxation without representation. That's what it really is, anyway.
Yes.
But that's what it all started, and everybody forgot it. When our founding fathers did not want two-party system, they feared that more than almost anything, even though they conceded
I wish people would
realize
that.
Yeah, they didn't want it, but then it happened almost before they were dead. Even they weren't even in their graves, let alone cold in their graves before that happened. So.
Yeah, the founding father says, "Well, this is going to work as long as there just isn't a two-party system."
And everyone's educated
right.
To vote
the last 10 minutes.
Of course, it was only men who were.
Yeah.
Wealthy
landowners,
white wealthy men. But that's another story. We've improved on other things. But anyway.
Well, we've been yelling at TV screens since we were dating. We were high school comrades.
It's a way of educating your children too. Have them watch the news with you. Tell them cartoons rot their brains.
Yeah. And sing. Well, you ain't done nothing if you ain't been called a red. Okay.
Okay. God, Lon's going to have a real show now. This is
not
prelude.
Not really.
Don't be turned off by the prelude. I'm sure he has something to talk about.
Sort of. Anyway.
I'm going to go into Sprouts, I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so.
Get us some Hava chips to munch on the way home.
Oh, okay, maybe. We're going to have popcorn now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hava chips and popcorn.
Okay, I'm turning the camera back on me.
Oh, please do. Get it away from me.
So, well, why don't you and me say, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law?
Love is the law. Love under will.
Okay. I'll be in just a little while to cool off. It's a little cooler today.
Oh, it's a lot cooler.
It's been crazy. What was it yesterday, Darren?
Well, it was only like 106 or something. But if you're working hard physically, it hurts to do that.
Yes.
I never do that, of course.
She waits till it's 110. Now
Oh, stop picking.
Now, well, I will say it to your face as you turn around. You wait till it's 110 degrees, and it gets the hottest around 5 o'clock.
Well, that's time when it...
And she goes out in the direct sun.
No, it's shady then. Otherwise, that's why I wait till later.
And weeds and prunes.
I don't do it in the direct sun, though. That would be... It's already making shadows by the time I go out, so I go out. I may go out when it's 110.
It threatens a shadow or two.
It's 110, but it's shady. It's 110 in the shade. Let's put it that way.
And I'm almost unconscious in the house.
Oh, he's holed up in his office with the air conditioning on.
It's the only room that has air conditioning.
Well, that's because that's the way we wanted it. Actually,
Yeah.
we couldn't afford it. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with that here.
Okay. Well, thank you for that moment of ridicule.
I thought you were ridiculing me.
Oh, no,
I can't tell the difference. We've been married so long.
Okay. Well, tell me if my hat is on. Okay.
No, it looks like a little girl.
Do I look like? Yes, I'm a princess. Now, which way? This way?
I don't care. Yeah, that looks a little better.
Okay.
You want to look like a 1950s detective.
Yes, Darren McGavin.
Not like a 6-year-old cowgirl in the 50s. Okay, I'm going now.
Very well.
Oh, I better roll the window down for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because you'll want to breathe.
Yeah. It's supposed to get up to 88 today, which is 93 in our backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little hotter.
Okay. Magic and politics. Oh, here she comes. She's coming back. She's looking in her. She got her mask. Okay. Yes, magic and politics. I saw a very interesting, cute sort of documentary about Gerald Gardner and his circle of friends in the early days of Wicca, I guess you could say. It wasn't called that at the time. But prior to World War II, well, it wasn't prior to World War II, it was during World War II when it seemed inevitable that Germany was going to actually have a land invasion of England. And other conquerors had tried it. There was the Spanish Armada that got turned away, and only by the weather, really. And there was an invasion from France that had been turned away, and of course it didn't work for William the Conqueror. But there was sort of a mythological history or legend of that the English Channel and the Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea seemed to protect England from the aggressive other European nations. And it's almost a mystique, a magical mystique. But anyway, they did this little documentary, and it sort of dramatized it. It was well done and very cute, about how his coven went out to a certain place and did a ritual to sort of setting up a ring past knot, around England. Now, that was very nice, and it was very sort of mystically patriotic for those folks to do it, and of course John Dee, Elizabeth I's counselor, was also a magician, and rumored that he raised the storm that scattered the Spanish Armada and things like that, led to the legend that's the foundation for Shakespeare's The Tempest. And but anyway, they did this ritual, and of course Germany, which was pretty much poised to do the invasion, Hitler, they didn't do it to stop an army. Okay, the ritual was just aimed at the mind of one man. And that was the one man whose unpredictable behavior could change the course of history, and to change the plans overnight, and that was Hitler. So they didn't say armies don't come. They didn't say Air Force don't bomb. They didn't. They just tried to crawl with their ritual, crawl into the mind of Hitler and tell him, don't come. Bad idea. Change your crazy mind. And but I'm sure we can come up with all sorts of other explanations why Hitler did indeed change his mind, and it was more or less synchronized with the efforts of these wonderful, crazy English people out in the woods. Now, I think they did it skyclad, okay, because that was Gardner was really kind of a firm believer that things you do outside you should be naked, and most of these people were old people. They weren't a bunch of young, attractive hippie witches. Okay, they were old Masterpiece Theater British farts, and some of them sort of oiled themselves up or put some kind of protective ointment to keep their bodies a little bit warmer during all of this circle cone of power raising, dancing around. And there was a fire, but it's my understanding that one of the elderly gentlemen opted not to oil up or take any undue precautions. Now, I don't think he did it with the intent of sacrificing himself or committing ritual suicide or anything else. Whether he did or he didn't, there's no evidence or suggestion one way or the other. But he did catch cold and died within a few days after that event. And whether it's fair or not, people sort of viewed that as how serious of a magical event that was. Well, shit happens. But I really don't think myself that it is, I believe it's probably a waste of time for one individual or even a small group of individuals to attempt to cause any great change to occur in a geopolitical environment. First of all, magic works primarily on the magician. And the magician then goes out and changes the world around him or her. And when it comes to geopolitics, there's lots of other magicians involved, whether they think they're magicians or not. And each of those magicians have their individual wills, and some of those individual wills actually are their wills. Okay, most of them are probably just their perceived will, but I could say the same thing about me. Okay, so you don't know how many other wills you're tinkering with or attempting to tinker with when you attempt to stop a hurricane, or when you attempt to postpone an eclipse, or you got to have the ingredients necessary to execute that change. Okay, and I'm not saying it's not worth your efforts to do it, but you're really fighting an uphill battle, and you're probably missing the big picture of what's going on in the first place, because there are always factors infinite and unknown to you. So, nevertheless, you need to behave, or I believe you need to behave in conformity with your will. And that will includes your character. And if you're doing anything that really goes against your character, this is what Constance was talking about when she said she's just tired of voting for the lesser of two evils, because both of them, in her case, are not behaving or promising to behave in conformity with her character, with her values, with her understanding of reality and the nature of societies. And so the challenge becomes, what do I do to be true to myself and at the same time affect the general circumstances of the effects that I wish to bring about in the world? I'm going to read two things to you, if I may, if I haven't lost you already. I'll read this one first. This is from, I've done it several times before, read this particular one. This is from Ask Baba Lon. And it's a series of letters people have written me and my letters back. Now this is old. Let's see, what year did I write this? Or did I collected the letters over 30 years. So this was published in 2011. Thelema in politics. My father, Baba Lon, that wasn't his name. I was just being a smart ass. My father, Baba Lon, told me never to discuss religion or politics in a bar. As I grow older, his words take on greater dimensions of wisdom. It's really tough, though. There are few things I like more than discussing religion and politics, especially when I've been drinking. For over half my life, I've been involved in the magical and administrative adventures of Ordo Templi Orientis. The OTO is a magical society founded around 1900 that embraces the law of Thelema, a philosophical, or some say religious, or some say anti-both. The law of Thelema is a concept based on a received text, Liber al vel Leges, also known as the Book of the Law. The Book of the Law is unique among holy books because it forbids anyone to interpret it for another. This, in my opinion, is a very good thing, because many passages, if taken or mistaken literally, can be very unsettling. I burned my first copy the moment I was through reading it. Well, the instructions were to destroy it after first reading. Obviously, I came to terms with my irrational fears, for I'm currently the OTO's U.S. Deputy Grand Master and Archbishop of its ecclesiastical arm, Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica. As such, I get letters. Some of the letters, like the ones to follow, concern statements in the text of the Book of the Law, which, if projected on a political canvas, would suggest some very disturbing things. Couple that with the reputation of the book's scribe, we have a recipe for a real freak out. As you'll soon see, I come out of the political closet to confess to and attempt to justify my political attitudes. I hope the reader who finds himself or herself on the other end of the political spectrum will not think too unkindly of me. And if you read any of the messages I get back from my daily shows, you'll know that I have lots of dear, brilliant friends who are on the opposite side of the political spectrum. There are limits to that. I hate Nazis. Excuse me. I draw the line at Nazis. Okay. And if I've just lost you as a friend, thank you, and please wake up. Here's a letter. Kennethella might be a liberal. Dear Baba Lon, I've been studying books on Western esoteric tradition for a couple years and developed a particular appreciation for Aleister Crowley and his works and ideas, with one exception, his socio-political views. Okay, now I'm not going to read the whole letter to you, but Crowley's social and political views are not the issue here. Crowley was somewhat of a Tory, okay, but he was also somewhat of a socialist. He attended socialist rallies, okay. He was for you could say woman's lib. Now he's an old British fart, also an Edwardian fart, who also had many ingrained things that we can hide him behind the he was a man of his times kind of things. But you couldn't tie Crowley down. He was as much a socialist as he was a fascist. But fascist as it manifested in Europe in the 30s and the 40s, and how it's now manifesting now, uncomfortably. He was not. It was antithetical to Thelema. So let's keep Crowley's personal thing out of it. Secondly, don't drag the book of the law into it. It's not a political document. Let's see how I've skipped over here. Finally, in other words, Crowley seems to the right of Attila the Hun. Are the rest of us excluded from being Thelemites? Are we barred from initiation? I ask this sincerely. And he quotes from the Book of the Law, tramp down. There's wild shit, especially in the 3rd chapter. Freaked me out when I read it. Okay. I ask sincerely, since all the rest of Crowley's work is so excellent, with this one exception. I am wholeheartedly drawn to Thelema. Okay. Your name withheld. Yes, name withheld. A liberal can be a Thelemite. Sounds a bit like, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. I consider myself a liberal humanist. Actually, I'm a radical liberal humanist. I guess the polite term in today's American politics is progressive. So is Constance, and so are most of our closest friends in and out of the OTO. As a matter of fact, Constance and I first started dating when it was obvious we had in common our opposition to the Vietnam War that was starting to escalate in our last couple of years of high school. And I was involved at a very early age in the Student Peace Union and Students for Democratic Society. And so I had a different self-education on matters of world history, 20th century world history, than was kind of taught in high school. And we were first drawn to each other because we looked around at the world and what was going on, and with the escalation of the war in Vietnam, and said, this is fucked. This is crazy. This is wrong. And we were saying that in a sea of complete, almost zombie-esque ignorance on even the fundamental causes of the so-called conflict. But anyway, I digress. Progressive. So is Constance. So are most of our closest friends in and out of the OTO. I can't speak for them, but my motives are entirely selfish. It's simply that I have come to the conclusion that it is in my best interest to live in a stable environment, undisturbed and unencumbered by violent social unrest. Being surrounded, distracted, menaced by hungry, unhappy, unhealthy, homeless, downtrodden fellow citizens. It's not conducive to my efforts to quietly pursue my spiritual great work. I would venture to guess, if we were to poll the 3,000 some members of the OTO in the world, something which could never happen, you couldn't poll them all, we'd most likely discover at least a respectable percentage of members who would probably consider themselves liberal humanists or something like that. The majority of those remaining would probably consider themselves libertarians, independents, or anarchists. We even count as dear brothers in Thelema an outrageously entertaining and provocative right-wing radio show host. He's left the airways since then. And possibly the next Republican lieutenant governor of a state I'll leave unnamed. He did not win his election. Okay. That being said, in the OTO ultimately in Thelema, one's politics is entirely a personal matter. It has to be. In my opinion, there can't be a Thelemic political party unless it was one that told its party members to vote for whomever they personally preferred and support the programs they personally agree with. Anything else would be like saying, we believe there is no law beyond do what thou wilt, and we want a law to make you believe that too. Of course, it's likely that many individuals who embrace Thelema's philosophy of personal liberty would want to live in an environment that allows them and all others this freedom. Naturally, many of us tend to support measures, candidates, and parties that promise strong civil liberties and such. But the source of these attitudes are most often not dictated by the tenets of Thelema per se, but from the ideals of youthful idealism or our intelligent observation or our mature common sense or simply our sense of human decency. It's possible, owing to infinite and unknown forces, or at least it's theoretically possible, owing to infinite and unknown factors of karma or personal issues. It's theoretically possible that a person might need to spend a season or a lifetime as a social Darwinist, or even a Nazi, or other such creature, in order to do his or her will in this particular incarnation. It's not for you or me to judge on that level. You and me are unable to, are incapable of judging at that level. I admire Crowley too. He's my holy prophet. But I'm not obliged to comb my hair or select my wardrobe or my diet or my lovers or vote in the way that he did. Thelema is bigger than Aleister Crowley. And nobody can tell you how to interpret the book of the law. If anyone ever does, you should feel empowered to give them a hearty and loving fuck you. I hope this has been helpful. Okay. And that's my little review of my attitude, I guess, in whenever that was, or 2001. And that's what I felt like reading to you today on the morning of what is going to prove to be entertaining or cringeworthy, or both. But unlikely it'll be neither, or it won't be neither. Anyway, that's it for today. Until tomorrow, when we'll debrief and discuss what, if anything, happens, if there is a tomorrow. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.